I'm gonna keep it a buck. I just rolled out of bed, but since I am the new big Pokemon tuber, Poke-tuber, like we talked about a couple days ago on the channel, I gotta give you guys the Pokemon news because the Pokemon Presents presentation, a lot of alliteration there, just took place today, and obviously there's a lot of stuff to talk about. A big update to the Nintendo Switch Online service that you might not have realized as well happened, so a lot of good stuff to talk about. Buenos dias, y'all. RGT85 here. Hope everyone's having a great Sunday, but without any further ado, let's talk about what's going on in the world of video games. If you are new, hit that subscribe button and all that stuff. Obviously, today was an interesting day because there was a new Pokemon Presents presentation. Now, we made a video a couple days ago on the channel sort of theorizing what I expected to see there. Like I said, I am the new Poke-tuber, so give me the views, baby. Give me the views. But the presentation was actually very interesting. A lot of cool stuff happened during this. Some things we talked about actually came to fruition, some not so much. Obviously, they started out with Pokemon Go and Pokemon Unite. Like that, those are cool. You know, they're cool. I guess people are still playing them. I'm not playing them anymore. Pokemon Go, I played that for when it was like hot, you know, when it was hot on the streets and everyone was playing it. And then I kind of moved on, but they are trying to get people to continually play Pokemon Go. Pokemon Unite, it's fine for what it is, but whatever. Detective Pikachu 2 was missing. Once again, I don't really care. But the good stuff here was honestly really good stuff. So taking a look at what they showcased. First off, we did get an update on Pokemon Legends Arceus getting a free update. We talked about this. I felt like there could be some DLC at this event, but it actually is coming later today, which I thought was very interesting. Now, the new update is called Daybreak. It basically gives you a new investigation where you have to check out, mass outbreaks of Pokemon happening within the region. It is more of a story-based update. There's also new Pokemon battles happening at the training grounds as well. There are some bug fixes to the game included in this update as well. And like I said, it comes out later today. It is a free update. So I think that's really cool. It's always nice to get more content into Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's a great game. I definitely enjoy it a lot. I wish they could do some upgrades for the graphics and stuff like that, but hey, it is what it is. I still like the core gameplay and that new gameplay loop. And then we talked, of course, about the whole fact that we're probably going to get Gen 9 Pokemon at this event, a new Pokemon game for 2022. How would they handle this? How would Game Freak, sort of make this game after the success of Pokemon Legends Arceus? Well, they showed it, and there's definitely a lot of questions. There's definitely a lot of scrutiny. There's definitely a lot of, what if situations with this game. And the games are called Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, according to the listing for the game that the Pokemon Company gave, it is a new evolutionary step in the Pokemon main series. You explore an open world where various towns with no borders blend seamlessly into the wilderness. And basically there's creatures all everywhere, in the streets, in the sea, in the sky, all over the place. And I think this is very interesting because they're taking sort of the Arceus formula and implementing it into a mainline game. Now, the combat is going to be interesting because I think, how are they going to handle the combat? Is it going to be like Legends Arceus, where it's not quite, that same sort of slow style that the other Pokemon games bring to the table, or are they going to sort of implement some things from Legends Arceus into the combat? I think that would be a good thing. I think the combat in Legends Arceus is really good. You can still sort of structure the game more so in a traditional Pokemon sense, just have the open world, but also have some of the gameplay elements from Legends Arceus. Now, since this is a Pokemon game, it doesn't look all that great. Obviously the graphics will probably be cleaned up. Most of the time with the Pokemon games, they first show something, it looks horrible, and then when the game comes out, it looks a little bit better. That's all you can really do with Game Freak. They just, I don't know, man. They just don't seem to care about graphics, but I like the variety of areas they're in. I like the different sort of styles of the towns and stuff like that. And the open world aspect, I think, is going to be very, very interesting. How it's going to be fully implemented into this game. Is it going to be something where, like, I guess theoretically speaking, since there are no borders or anything, can I just walk to the end of the game, and just get destroyed? But can I just walk to whatever the final fight is in this game? Or does story elements have to happen in order to get deeper into the game? I don't know. They say no borders, so it's going to be interesting to see how it's implemented. Breath of the Pokemon of the Wild. Like, this is obviously a new style of Pokemon game, and I think that's really cool. So there was a lot of cool announcements here, and as a PokeTuber, obviously I have to be interested in these announcements. But yeah, I'm definitely curious to check out, you know, Scarlet and Violet on the Switch. It's coming out sometime in 2022, probably like November, but I'm interested. I'm interested to watch the progression of this game and what they've added to it, and just some more explanations on it. Of course, over the next few weeks, we'll probably get some more details, but let me know in the comments section down below what you think of this, because obviously the Pokemon Company and Game Freak are kind of going in a different direction with Pokemon games. And it's about damn time. Like, let's keep it a buck, man. They've just done the sort of same formulatic style over and over again. It's nice to spread your wings a bit, and I think this could be a good thing. And finally, the Nintendo Switch Online service, especially the expansion pack, including N64 stuff, has had quite a few issues when it comes to the emulation of games. Of course, the distribution of games is still kind of wonky. They've already released Majora's Mask. What's the next game? Why haven't they said what the next game is going to be? Usually they talk about what the next game is going to be before the next game releases, meaning that they'll say, okay, Majora's Mask is coming out on this date. Well, here's a game that's also coming out next month for it. They didn't do that with Majora's Mask. There's a lot of questions about it. I still hate the lack of communication and just the piss poor distribution system of it, but it does seem like they are doing some major updates to the service, and I don't want these things to go unnoticed. I know MVG made a video on it yesterday. You probably watched that. I didn't watch it because I planned on talking about it in today's video, so hopefully there's some new information here for you guys that you'll find interesting. But of course, there is the data miner known as Oatmeal Dome. I've talked about him a million times before on this channel, and he's always been sort of my eyes into the back end of the N64 Online expansion pack and just sort of the data mining process of different things. Well, there's been a lot of updates that have happened with the Nintendo Switch Online service, especially on the emulation side of things. So I want to go over these things and basically just talk about why they're important. All right, so one of the first major things is that it was discovered that the N64 All right, one of the first major things was the fact that the water temple in the Nintendo Switch Online version of the game has now finally been fixed. Now, we talked, I think, a week or so ago, maybe a little bit longer, about the water issue in the game, where essentially the water was just like one giant ugly texture and it didn't look good, and then they fixed that. But the fog was actually still missing in the Switch version of the game, and now it has been added in the version 2.0.0 update. Now you can see here, this is how it looks on the GameCube. So in the GameCube version of the game, which of course was available with the disc that they released for it. So this is proper. This is what it's supposed to look like. Now, of course, there's still things like input lag and whatnot, but still, I think this is a huge step forward because it shows multiple issues, multiple instances of issues within this game that they actually fixed. You know, they fixed the texture, they added in the fog, and it wasn't like they did them both at the same time. You know, they actually had to redo what they did on the fog thing because they had to go back into it to add that fog. Now, moving right along, we see here that there's some interesting things here. So there's an unknown code patch added to Banjo, meaning Banjo-Kazooie. No one's quite sure what it actually does. There's some more patches relating to the added to the Ocarina of Time stuff. A fog-related patch, Fog Factor, was removed from Star Fox 64. So what that actually means, I don't think anyone's actually like taking a look at it to see what sort of differences it makes, but you know, whatever. Moving right along, we of course talked about how there were crashes in Paper Mario for the Nintendo Switch version of the game, where essentially the software would close, causing you to actually lose your save file, which, you know, that's asinine. That's absolutely ridiculous. But now it seems like there have been crashes that have been fixed within the game. Now, this is actually a different crash than what we talked about initially. The initial crash was like hitting a certain tree with your hammer and it would cause the game to crash. This looks like a different one, but still good to see. And there's actually something very interesting for Majora's Mask. Now, this is sort of slight spoilers here of a cutscene, but basically, comparative to the Nintendo Wii version of the game available on the Virtual Console, there's actually been an update in one of the cutscenes of the game where the Wii version of the game actually cuts off before it's actually supposed to cut off. There's, you know, obviously if you're a speedrunner or something, you're not going to like that because you want to shave off the time. But basically the cutscene would end too soon on the Wii Virtual Console side of things when it shouldn't have ended. You'll see it here in just a moment when it gets to the point. I will say it's interesting to see the Switch version of the game definitely looks better, but as far as like texture clarity and whatnot. You know, you definitely get a better look at the game. But here you have some frame rate issues on the Wii Virtual Console side of things that you sort of are added into the game. And you can see here that the Switch version of the game is running a little bit behind this version of the game, which is how it's supposed to be, because now the cutscene has ended. So they actually added in a little bit of lag to elongate this cutscene to make it like the way it's supposed to be. And some people aren't going to like that. Some people will like that. But, you know, it's interesting to see, because this is all stuff. A lot of this stuff is stuff that didn't really need to happen. You know, obviously the Paper Mario stuff, those crashes, you gotta fix that sort of stuff. But adding in the fog into Ocarina of Time, like realistically, you didn't have to go back and do that. Like, most people were satisfied with the water aspect of things. Whatever those updates are for Banjo, nobody really knows. The whole thing with Star Fox 64, changing up this version of Majora's Mask to add in a little bit of lag to make it the proper length of the cutscene versus what was available on other virtual consoles. Like, they're trying. They're definitely trying, and you got to give them credit for that. Like, they're obviously listening to what is happening, what some of the complaints are when it comes to the virtual or the Switch Online expansion pack side of things. And you have to respect that. Like, you have to give them kudos. If we're gonna take a shit on Nintendo whenever they do something stupid, which we do a lot on this channel, we got to give them the flowers when they do something right. And I definitely think this is a good thing to see, because it bodes well for the future. You know, it bodes well for the fact that they do somewhat care about these games. So let me know in the comment section down below if you're surprised by these updates, if you have noticed these updates, because I feel like a lot of people probably didn't notice these updates. They're just going completely over their head, but I like to break things down for you guys and give you guys interesting information. Alrighty, so that's gonna do it for today's video. I kind of look like a cone head right now. I don't know why. I don't know why. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give me your feedback in the comments section down below. What you liked from the Pokemon event, what you didn't like. What do you think about these new N64 updates? And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, like and comment and share. I'm the best PokeTuber in the world. Tell your friends. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.